Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Geo Group's Outlook. This time it's for 16.2. We'll start off with moving existing data types into the self-service framework. The self-service framework provides a single framework through which you can manage replication and verification of different data types and components. This will enable and empower other teams to also easily add new data types and components to the geo replication and verification process. As new features are created, there will be new data types that need to be replicated in order to protect our customers against data loss in the event of failure. We've migrated a number of data types, legacy data types already into the self-service framework. And in fact, we just completed the migration of design repositories into the self-service framework in the last milestone 16.1. So we continue to make progress on projects, which is the last legacy data type to be migrated to the self-service framework. This is by far the most complex data type, and in this milestone, the team will continue to make progress on this with getting us with having all the data types under a single self-service framework. Next up is Gitlab silent mode. So it is important with any disaster recovery process to test the mechanism and the procedures regularly to ensure the successful recovery from a failover event. One way to achieve this is to actually promote one of the secondary sites that is designated as your disaster recovery site and perform testing against that site. Whilst leaving the primary site operational to the rest of the business. As you can imagine, performing such testing against a site will generate outbound traffic, such as email notifications, webhook events, and push mirror events. This can be undesirable and somewhat confusing for the users when they are receiving these from an instance that they may or may not be aware of. So silent mode will allow you to suppress those outbound communications whilst allowing you to continue testing that instance. I should add that this is also useful when you are restoring from a backup. If you want to test your backup image, for example, then you can restore the backup image and apply silent mode, which will suppress those outbound communications, but continue to allow you to perform any particular testing that you'd like to do in order to test the viability of those backups, viability and integrity, I should add. We've already completed a couple of steps in the implementation. We've added an API control and implemented blocking of outgoing emails. Over the next couple of milestones, we will make progress on blocking out other outbound communications, such as mirroring and webhook traffic. This is a cross-stage effort, and our colleagues in other stage groups will be supporting us in delivering this feature. Then we move on to improving backup and restore documentation and guidance for all of our self-managed customers. Backup and restore is an important part of any disaster recovery strategy. They help protect against malicious and unintentional data corruption. It is complementary, I should add, to the GeoDR solution, helping to protect against corruption that may be replicated in certain cases from the primary site to the secondary site. The backup will allow you to go back in time and find a copy of the data before the corruption occurred. Our backup and restore documentation has grown over time, and we have a number of solutions accompanied by multiple pages of documentation. This effort will be to consolidate the documentation, provide updated guidance on best practices and best approaches for taking your backups and restoring them. We will also look at improving and enhancing the documentation for customers who are on larger reference architectures and or that may have large data sets. Then we will also be looking at object storage verification. We've already released GitLab managed object storage replication through Geo, so that Geo will manage replication between the primary site and the secondary site's object storage buckets. And the verification will complement this feature by allowing you to check the integrity of those two copies. This will also allow us to make progress towards 100% verification of GitLab replicate data, geo-replicated data. It also allows the speed up of the process of reattaching a demoted primary site as a secondary site by avoiding the need to re-replicate all of the data, instead just running verification against that data, and ensuring that they are the same between the primary and the secondary site. Next is accelerating runners from via geo-secondary sites. This isn't supported today, but our goal here is to make this generally available. To start with, we had a research spike to identify the gaps that would prevent us from being able to support this capability, and we've been working through addressing some of these gaps over the last couple of milestones, and we continue to make progress on addressing the remaining gaps before we make progress towards making this capability generally available to our customers. Next is verify group wikis. So verifying group wikis is another data type that will take us further towards being able to verify 100% of that replicated data. Group wikis are already managed via the self-service framework. However, the verification capability had not been added. So in this milestone, we'll be looking to add that capability, so thus rounding that circle for group wikis. Then lastly, we have gathering monthly unique secondary site users for Git operations. We already today have this metric, which is gathered for users who access the UI via the secondary site. However, this metric does not account for users who perform Git operations via operations such as clone, pull, push, etc. against that secondary site. So knowing this metric will give us a quantitative insight into how much the secondary sites are being utilized by remote teams to accelerate their Git operations. Visibility into this area will inform further investment in the accelerating remote teams use cases. So this is an important metric that will complement what we already have in terms of unique monthly secondary site users. And with that, we conclude GeoTeams 1612 Outlook. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.